I'm going to stop right there. So, what are y'all thinking so far? How's this sounding so far? Sounding really good, right? It's sounding good to me. I'm 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 excited. I needed this, especially for those of us that said we were being pushed out of our comfort zone. I think this is all in alignment. I think it's all right on time. Um, it's good stuff. Jamila says it got her writing. That's good. That is good. Writing is good. I mean, I'm over here underlining, and this nice book. Tara said yes, dope. So it's like yes, it's on point for me. The thing that I think I needed to hear, at least in the beginning, um, in the forward, the part that I was attempting to skip, but the part that I needed to hear the most was that she found out about the secret, and within 2 weeks, she had found all the greatest teachers of the secret. Within 2 months, her filming excuse me, her filming team had learned the secret, and within 8 months, they had filmed the documentary, The Secret. And then she talks about the television. It's just like changing the television. If you don't want to watch this anymore, you change the channel and the frequency. So understanding that once you switch your frequency, once you change your dominant thoughts, it changes immediately. It changes immediately. Okay? So Rachel says, I love the way it's expressed. It's things I already knew, but a new perspective that definitely helps. Brittany says, I got circles and lines all through this book. Yeah, me too. Sybil says, I'm underlining and writing as well. Funny, I had this book for a minute and never did this. Brittany says she has stars too. Tia says, in the forward it says, when I discovered one teacher, they would um, they would lead like to the next and in a perfect chain. Yes. That right there. And when she talked about she would click on the wrong link and then it would lead her to very vital information and it just led her where she needed to go, right? Brittany says, me too, Sybil. Read it a year ago. Now we're here. Um, and Tia says she's thankful to have found Bossy who led her to me. Oh, I appreciate that. So yeah, let me go back here. Because I underlined some stuff in the forward too. It says it doesn't matter who you are or where you are, the secret can give you whatever you want. Whatever you want. And it says, as we travel through these pages and as we learn the secret, you will come to know that you can have, be, or do anything you want. You will come to know who you really are. You will come to know the true magnificence that awaits you. Who you really are. She said, we are powerful magnets and transmitters. More powerful than that of a television tower. More powerful than that of a radio tower. Like we can transmute a vibration and frequency well beyond this world, well beyond our community, but into the universe, into the cosmos. That perspective right there was very powerful. It reminded me of what my power is. So in these situations where we are feeling uncomfortable, when we're out of our comfort zone, we hold the power. We hold the power. We are very powerful beings. Okay? Very powerful being. Um, Let me read the comments. They're responding to Tiara saying she's thankful to found Bossy to lead them to me. Brittany says exactly, Tiara. Jamila says me this morning. Rochelle says yes, Tiara. There's literally a chain of people I followed before I was led to Bossy, then here. Wow, no different than Rhonda Byrne, right? Sybil says no, we're not. No, we are paying attention. And Sybil responds to Rochelle says, Amen to that. Same here. This is true. It's been a domino effect, a domino effect, a domino effect. And I've seen that happen. And I always say that when things happen in a domino effect or when there's a chain reaction, when it lines up, that's God, that's the universe working, right? But I think the most important thing that we have to understand is how powerful we are, how powerful we are. how powerful we are in our power. Understanding that we have the power to change anything, that we are not victims, we are victors. We are in control. We control this ship. We are creators. Okay? Understanding your power will is what ignites this secret. Is your knowing your power. So I'm going to go over some more of the things I underline. Um, Bob Proctor says the secret gives you anything you want: happiness, health, and wealth. Dr. Joy Vital says you can have, do, or be anything you want. John Asher says we can have whatever it is that we choose. I don't care how big it is. And Bob Proctor always says that if you know how to get to your goal, it's not big enough. That resonates with me all the time. Like, think bigger, think bigger. That's when you push yourself. And this is so perfect timing. Chain reaction, law of attraction happened right now. Like, I was talking to my sister before I got on live, and I told her that I'm being pushed and stretched. That, God is pushing and stretching me. I could have stayed in a comfort zone. I could have stayed in one place, but God said, no, this is time for the next level. And the reality of it is I'm being pushed and stretched. And in order for me to continue to expand in my power, in order for me to know my power, I have to be out of my comfort zone. And I'm in that situation right now. Like, I've been through this last year. So it's like and I felt like I was being tested, because it's like I'm being put in a situation. And it's just like, I'm like, God, I know I have faith in you. But now understanding that being tested right now is not about my faith in God. It's really about my faith in myself. It's really about knowing my power, knowing what my power is, because I know who God's power is. I know God's power. So reading this and everything is coming together for me. It's truly coming together for me, because I, am very thankful for what God does to me. And I can get to the point where it's just like, God, what do you want me to do? God this, God that, where I become so much of a servant to God that God is like, hey, remember, you are a powerful being too. You're an extension of me, right? You're an extension of me. What is your power? Where is your power? So this is really resonating for me. As always, it always lines up, Michael Bernard Beckwith says that he's seen many miracles take place in people's lives. Financial miracles, miracles of physical healing, mental healing, and healing of relationships. That's something too that Dr. Mitchell Gibson speaks of. We can heal ourselves. No matter what your illness is, no matter what the physical issue is, we can heal ourselves. But we have to apply this. We have to know how powerful we are. We have to know we can't accept the thoughts of defeat. We can't accept those thoughts. We have to accept the thoughts that we are healed and healthy, whole, and complete. Okay? The natural laws of the universe are so precise that we don't even have any difficulty building spaceships. We can send people to the moon, and we can time the landing with the precision of a fraction of a second. That always stands out to me. I hear Bob Proctor says that all the time. It is just precise. There's no wavering in it. It's precise. It's precise, precise, precise. That is how it works. Okay. Everything that's coming into your life, you are attracting into your life. And it's attracted to you by virtue of the images you are holding in your mind. It's what you're thinking. Whatever is going on in your mind, you're attracting to you. Every thought of yours is a real thing, a force. Okay? That. What kind of thoughts are we thinking? Are you thinking thoughts of lack? Or are you thinking thoughts of abundance? Are you thinking thoughts of lack or abundance? And as I always say, you can't think two thoughts at one time. And where we are in our life today are a representation of our past thoughts, right? Past thoughts. Brittany says, I am a true champion. She found Bossy too, which led her to go Kenyatta. Oh, thank you, Brittany. Sybil says, yes, I felt this way yesterday. I feel like March is repeating itself. Right. Sybil, same thing. Those same lesson, but see, the lesson is a little different. And this reminds me too. See, Spirit's putting it all together for me. When I used to have goddess cards, there was a card on there called Cycles. And it was a figure 8, and it was a snake swallowing its tail. And what it talks about is that we go through life cycles, but each cycle is a level up. So we're learning a lesson on a higher level, on a higher level, on a higher level. No different than when you're in school. You learn math every grade, but you learn math on a higher level each grade you go up. You learn English in every grade, but you learn it on a higher level. So we are learning some of the same things, but on a higher level. Okay, in March back then we was learning to have faith and trust in God and the spirits. Now I think it's really knowing. Now I know it's about us knowing our power in it, our power as co-creators. As the creator is the creator, the universe, God, the goddesses, they are the creators, but we are co-creators. What is our power alongside of God? How are we allowing ourselves to truly live in our power? Okay, so no, we don't become, servants to society and life, and we don't become the do boys and do girls of society and life, and we also don't do that to the creator and to the gods. The creator is like, hey, you are a co-creator. You are beside me, not behind me. You are beside me, not below me. You are beside me. We're doing this together, right? Brittany says it does feel like that. That March is repeating itself. And Jamila agrees, it does too. And Sybil says, this is another chance to make a different and better choices. Brittany also brings up angles. I was listening to that song last night while I was taking my bath, my refresh bath, my refresh lavender bath. I was taking that, listening to angles. And my man came in and was like, what is this song? I like this. Send it to me. I'm like, yeah, I'll put you on this song too. Anyway, for those of y'all that have been with me for a while, y'all know that. And what Jamila's saying astrologically is repeating. It is because back in March, particularly Saturn was in Aquarius, and Saturn went retrograde back into Capricorn, and then it had to stop and station and go back forward back through Capricorn, and now it's back in Aquarius. So we are back. And anytime you go through a retrograde, you're repeating something, you're going back to review, and we had to do that. So we actually are back where we are in March. We went and redid, we learned and got some knowledge and stuff, and now we're like, okay, we're better equipped. Toya says, I've been so conscious about what I've been thinking. That is good. That is powerful. Very powerful. And I'm going to get to this part where she brings, let me go to it real quick because it keeps coming up. When she talks about, have you ever started to think about something you were not happy about, and the more you thought about it, the worse it seemed? That's because you think one sustained thought, and the law of attraction immediately brings more like thoughts to you. In a matter of minutes, you've gotten so many like unhappy thoughts coming to you that the situation seems to be getting worse. The more you think about it, the more upset you get. So taking that and flipping it, when we're thinking positive things, like, that's why gratitude is a great practice, because when you start thinking thoughts of gratitude, you start realizing everything else you're grateful for. And I had to battle, my ego is trying to bring up those unhappy thoughts. And it was trying to bring up the unhappy thoughts because it's saying, hey, this situation sucks. This is what you're supposed to be thinking, right? I'm just like, nope, I'm not going to do that. 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 My ego has been doing that. And also, by the way, my astrologer said for this week that we will be battling the higher and lower parts. Battling going the right path or the wrong path, which is the higher self or the ego, right? For those of us who haven't transcended our ego. But I just said, you know what? I'm going into gratitude. So I started into gratitude, started being thankful and grateful, and started gratitude. And then as I started that, like thoughts came. I started realizing so many other things that I was blessed in. It just kept going from there. So it does attract like thoughts. So when you have wealth, you attract like wealth. And that's why you hear some people that say, hang out with people that are where you want to be, or if you're wealthy, hang out with wealthy people. If you, like-minded people, just in general, hanging out with that, because that like attracts like. It's a magnet. We are all magnets. Just think of us as all magnets and transmitters. And the more of us that get together, magnetized and transmitting a particular thought or frequency, the more it comes to us, right? Just think about that. That's powerful, right? That's really powerful. Silver says, I'm literally sitting in position, stretching where I was when I first started. Brittany says, battling my ego. Michelle said, yes, I've definitely felt that when I was stepping out of my comfort zone. There was so much fear and doubt, but I'm doing it anyway, right? And that's the thing, like, I'm thankful I've gotten past that fear and doubt, but the ego is trying to pull other stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm calm, I'm blessed, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I don't want to do stuff out of fear. I don't want to do stuff out of, trying to push something, but I, want to focus on what I'm creating. And it's been an amazing experience for me this week alone just to see the messages that come in a dream. I was trying to figure something out yesterday, and I've been sleeping. I've been sleeping a lot, and normally I'll judge myself for amount of sleeping, but every time I goes to sleep, I get a message that answers what I'm trying to solve. So when I saw it happen for sure yesterday evening, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to question when my body wants me to go to sleep. It just seems like, when I go in a dream state, that's when I get messages about things. So I went to sleep, and I got exactly how to handle the situation, and I woke up and did that, and it works out perfectly. It works out perfectly. Good morning, Mom, or good afternoon. It's afternoon. Good afternoon. But let me go back and finish reading what else it said. It is the law that determines the complete order in the universe. Every moment of your life, every single thing you experience in your life, it doesn't matter who you are or where you are, the law of attraction is forming your entire life experience. This all-powerful law is doing that through your thoughts. You are the only one who calls the law of attraction into action, and you do it through your thoughts. Do it through your thoughts. through through understanding and application of the laws of the universe, the civilization of Babylon became one of the wealthiest races in history, and that's because they understood this law. So Bob Proctor says, why do you think that 1% of the population earns around 96% of all the money that is being earned? Do you think it is an accident? It's designed that way. They understand something. They understand the secret, and now you're being introduced to the secret. Toya says, I can't wait for the world to open up to change my environment where I hang out. Mom's responding, good morning. Brittany says, exactly, Toya. I'm doing everything physically, mentally, and emotionally that's around me to balance. I don't know. I actually find myself, besides actually traveling, out of the country and getting on an airplane, I find that I, whatever it is that I want to do, I pretty much do, but I don't hang out in certain places either. So, yeah. I'm just decided I wasn't going to allow the world to restrict me, personally. So, continuing, what else stood out? People who have drawn wealth into their lives use the secret, whether consciously or unconsciously. They think thoughts of abundance and wealth, and they do not allow any contradictory thoughts to take root in their mind. Key, they do not allow any contradictory thoughts to take root in their mind. Their predominant thoughts are of wealth. They only know wealth. Nothing else exists in their minds, whether they are aware of it or not. Their predominant thoughts of wealth are what brought wealth to them. It is the law of attraction in action. It's the law of attraction in action. Okay? This is another key point that I think is amazing, and it hits for me. You may know of people who acquired massive wealth, lost it, and within a short time acquired massive wealth again. What happened in this case, whether they know it or not, is that their dominant thoughts were of wealth. That is how they acquired it in the first instance. Then they allowed fearful thoughts of losing the wealth to enter their mind, until those fearful thoughts of loss became their dominant thoughts. They tipped the scales from thinking thoughts of wealth to thinking thoughts of loss. So they lost it all. Once they had lost it, however, the fear of loss disappeared, and they tipped the scales back with dominant thoughts of wealth, and wealth returned. The law responds to your thoughts no matter what they may be. No matter what they may be. That right there. That. Brittany says, exactly, Toya, I'm doing everything physical, mental, emotional that's around. Sumo wrestling, zip lining, hiking, biking, etc. Cool. Toya says, wow, sleep is my go-to when things get much for me. All my answers always come when I'm sleeping. Yeah, that's something that I'm learning about myself. Instead of fighting with my sleep, I used to fight with my sleep really bad. Like, oh, I gotta be productive. I gotta do this. No, if I sleep, I can't. No. Well, all the answers, like my dreams are very, very vivid. Very vivid. Like it's just it's kind of like an out of body experience in a sense when I'm dreaming, and I'm very thankful for it. John Asher says, "I think of myself as a magnet, and I know that a magnet will attract to it." Okay. So then it continues, "You are the most powerful magnet in the universe. You are the most powerful magnet in the universe. You are the most powerful magnet in the universe. You are the most powerful magnet in the universe. That's bigger than any tower, bigger than any satellite, more powerful than any big magnet that you've seen. You are the most powerful magnet in the universe. You contain a magnetic power within you that is more powerful than anything in this world. And this unfathomably magnetic power is imminent through your thoughts." So the power is through your thoughts, okay? I just want y'all to visualize yourself as a magnet and think about the thoughts you think. No shame, no blame, no judgment when you think about what you've been attracting. Because guess what? When you change those thoughts, you change what you're attracting. Okay? The law of attraction says like attracts like. And so as you think a thought, you are also attracting like thoughts to you. So that goes back to what she was saying. When you think one thought, you attract like thoughts. So when you're thinking unhappy thoughts, you attract unhappy thoughts. That's why when you start thinking unhappy things, other unhappy stuff, you start finding all the stuff to be unhappy about. You start looking. That's what my ego attempted to do. And I'm like, nope, we're not doing that. We're going to stick with positive to thoughts, and my thoughts are going to stay positive. That's why gratitude, like I said before, is a great practice. So when you start having gratitude, you start looking at all the things you're grateful for, because you are blessed. You're blessed. We have everything we need. Okay. As you will powerfully attracting more light thoughts. Oh, the song. Just like when a song gets stuck in your head. That's why they say be mindful of the music that you listen to. Because when that song gets stuck in your head, you start attracting like thoughts, like the song. So make sure you put a song that's a good vibration. That's a good little chorus, a positive chorus. It's being mindful of the music you're listening to. Yeah, sometimes I know I can get into music more so for the music than the words. So I will go and listen to the instrumental because the words aren't always what I want to attract. Um, when he says surfing in the pool, not the ocean. Um, and Rachel said Abraham Hicks talks about that all the time. She calls it pivoting. Mm. I always hear her talks about the vortex and getting into the vortex, and how you get into the vortex, you become the vortex. As you want love, you become love. As you want wealth, you become wealth, right? But I like that mindset of pivoting. She also talks about the canvas. She says, if you want to start over, take the canvas and put it to the side. Just like she said, you may have seen a wealthy person have wealth, lose it all, and then gain it back. So that's that pivoting. That's that taking the canvas that you built because you started being fearful of losing it. You started having a fear of losing it. But all you have to do is change your thoughts. I know they may go into it later in the book, but if you watch the documentary, Lisa Nichols spoke about that positive thoughts are way more powerful than negative thoughts. So don't get into the fear. Don't get into the beating yourself up when you have a negative thought. It's just that when you have a lot of negative thoughts, then that's the vibration you're on. So if you have a negative thought here and there, it's not as powerful as the positive thought. The positive thought is more powerful and a lot stronger frequency. You've been listening to Lil Baby and Ashanti. I might need to hear what song that is. But yeah, it's a Lil Baby song that I like. That it's not the best song, you know what I mean? And I realized I liked it recently, so we might have to change that up too. Just being mindful of what you're listening to. Bob Proctor says, if you see it in your mind, you're going to hold it in your hand. And then the text continues to say, if you can think about what you want in your mind and make that your dominant thought, it will bring it into your life. If you ever just focus on something and just put your energy into it, and that's all you think about. All you can think about is this. All you can think about is that. All you can think about it. And then it happens. It's like you become obsessed with it. Like, all I can think about is this. All I can think about is that. All I can think about is it over and over and over and over again, right? Your thoughts become things. Say this over to yourself and let it seep into your consciousness and your awareness. Your thoughts become things. Your thoughts become things. Your thoughts become things. I know that like I get into these moments where I'm obsessed about astrology, or obsessed about studying it. I obsess about just spirituality, or when I was starting my baths, I was obsessed about that. I'm about to start obsessing about the next process too. But it's what you're thinking about is what's going to happen, right? The prominent thought or the mental attitude is the magnet, and the law is that like attracts like. Consequently, the mental attitude will invariably attract such conditions as it corresponds to its nature. Right. Thoughts are magnetic, and thoughts have a frequency. As you think, those thoughts are sent out to the universe, and they magnetically attract all like things that are on the same frequency. Everything sent out returns to the source, and that source is you. That source is you. Brittany also says, and I've been twerking for exercise, realizing that I truly love to dance and find peace there. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That sounds good. Um, I'm gonna read this last part. This is the last page. Um, Yasir, where's Amir? Can you turn his alarm timer off, please? I'm sorry. That's the timers for my son's school. Um, this last paragraph that I want to go over. It's not the last paragraph. Well, I'm gonna read this whole last section. You are a human transmission tower, and you are more powerful than any television tower created on Earth. You're the most powerful transmission tower in the universe. Your transmission creates your life and creates the world. The frequency you transmit reach beyond cities, beyond countries, beyond the world. It vibrates throughout the entire universe. And you are transmitting that frequency with your thoughts. The pictures you receive from the transmission of your thoughts are the pictures of your life. Your thoughts create the frequency. They attract like things on that frequency, and then they are broadcast back to you as your life pictures. If you want to change anything in your life, change the channel and change the frequency by changing your thoughts. The vibrations of mental forces are the finest and consequently the most powerful in existence. Your thoughts create things. Your thoughts create emotions. That goes back to the very first book that we started reading when we started this book club. And that was You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And she talks about your thoughts. Your thoughts, your thoughts, your thoughts. Okay? Your thoughts. Your thoughts. Affirmation blessings. I'm going to take some of these things and I'm going to write them on note cards. I'm going to go back to our old school way of doing things. Our old school way of doing things was writing stuff on note cards and putting them on a mirror in the bathroom. Every time you go to the bathroom, look at it. Remind yourself. Remind yourself. Remind yourself. Stay in gratitude. When you find that the negative thought starts, go into say what you're thankful. What are you thankful for? What are you thankful for? What are you thankful for? Focusing on that. Focusing on that. Focusing on that. If all else fails, if you get caught in a negative thought, go into gratitude. When you get stuck, go into gratitude. That's the go-to. That's the go-to. Toya says, wait, let me go back. I missed a whole bunch. Rochelle said, I've been obsessed with how I can help others, and I really get thoughts and ideas of how I can execute it. Toya says, I like dancing. I dance everywhere. She's responding to Brittany saying she likes dancing. Sybil says, dancing is her release and her peace. She releases it all with music, especially if it's her song is on. Rachel says she loves dancing too. Jamila says, I'm that friend you can't take nowhere because once music playing, Jamila will be dancing. Rita says, I love it. We all have so much in common. Yes. Like attracts like. We're talking about the secret. We're talking about magnets. We are alike. That's what we attract, okay? Yeah. I like to dance too, by the way. I do. And my mom likes to dance. I'm not sure if she's still here. But yeah. So this is good, y'all. This is good. We halfway through chapter 1. We're going to read the other part on Monday. I know today we do our spirituality conversation, but we are going to get into the rest of the book. I'm so excited. This is good stuff. On Monday. And I'm going to post this on YouTube. Yesterday's live is on YouTube if you want to go back and listen to that. Go back and listen to it. Go back and hear this too. And I will see y'all tomorrow at 11:22 a.m. And we'll have spiritual talk on tomorrow. All right. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And y'all have a great day.